All right, let's get right into it. The Book of Revelation. It's known for some seriously intense symbolic imagery. And maybe nothing is more famous or more mysterious than the beast. It's this prophetic puzzle that has had people scratching their heads for centuries. So in this explainer, we're going to unpack it, piece by bizarre piece, and we're going to use the original text as our guide. So here we are, Revelation 13, verse 2. This is the main event. And right away, you see why it's so gripping. It's a creature made of other creatures, a total Frankenstein's monster that just seems to defy all logic. And get this, it's given its power directly from a dragon. This is the vision we're going to decode. So the first question is pretty obvious, right? A leopard, a bear, and a lion, all mashed together, what in the world could that possibly mean? Well, you can bet it's not just a random collection of animals. Every single part is a carefully chosen symbol, and to understand the whole thing, we've got to break down the parts first. And the best way to do that is to go right back to the source. The book of Revelation was written in what's called Koine Greek. And understanding the specific words that the author, John, chose to use, that's our first step to cracking this whole prophetic code. First up, let's look at the word for beast itself, therion. Now sure, it can mean a literal wild animal, but in prophetic books like Revelation and Daniel, it almost always refers to something symbolic, an antagonistic power or a whole system. So right off the bat, we know we're not looking for a literal monster, we're looking for a system of power. The main body of this beast is like a panther, a leopard. Symbolically, what do leopards represent? Incredible speed, cunning, deception. And think about its spots for a second. They can represent all these diverse groups or different ideas, all unified under one deceptive system. So keep that idea, swift, cunning deception, in your mind. Next, its feet are like those of an arctos, a bear. Now this is a total contrast to the fast leopard. A bear symbolizes slow, brute, crushing force. This is all about overwhelming oppression, a heavy, burdensome legalism that just tramples any kind of freedom. And finally, the mouth. The mouth is that of a leon, a lion. And the lion, well, that's the classic symbol of kingship and authority, right? But notice the power isn't just in the lion itself, it's specifically in its mouth. That points directly to the power of speech, a voice that sounds authoritative but is actually counterfeit. Now, this is really interesting. The text says the dragon gave the beast power and great authority, but the Greek uses two different words here. Dynamis is raw, inherent power. Think dynamite. It's pure strength. But exousia is delegated authority. It's the right or the jurisdiction to use that power. This is so crucial. The beast has both incredible strength and the legal permission to wield it. And it got that permission from someone else. So where did John even get these specific animal symbols? He wasn't just making them up out of thin air. The key, the absolute key, is in a much older book of the Bible, the book of Daniel. Turns out, Daniel had a vision of a prophetic zoo that basically provides the blueprint for what John sees hundreds of years later. You look at Daniel chapter 7, and what do you find? A lion representing Babylon, a bear for Medo-Persia, and the leper for Greece. These three animals pop up as four separate beasts, each representing a different world empire in sequence. So John is deliberately, intentionally pulling these exact symbols from Daniel's vision. But hold on, this isn't just a history lesson about ancient empires. The real insight here is that these political kingdoms were seen as the earthly manifestations of spiritual realities. Each beast represents not just a government, but a particular spirit of opposition or corruption that's at work in the world. Okay. Now this is where it all comes together. John takes Daniel's separate beasts, the lion, the bear, and the leopard, and he fuses them into one single entity. This isn't a sequence of empires anymore. No, this is the assembly of the ultimate counterfeit spiritual system. So that body of the leopard, it represents the cunning, fast-moving spirit of things like Greek philosophy and deceptive politics. It's about humanism, worldly reason, ideas that can seduce and mislead people very, very quickly. And its spotted nature? That suggests a system that can unify all sorts of different factions under a single deceptive purpose. And the feet of the bear, they provide the foundation for this whole system. This is the spirit of heavy-handed oppression. It's the crushing weight of law without any grace. It's religious legalism and tradition that just stifles the human spirit and tramples truth under a mountain of fear and burdensome rules. And the mouth of the lion? Well, that's the system's voice.
This represents a corrupted religious authority that sounds like it's speaking for God. It mimics true spiritual authority to deceive people, offering control and ritual instead of any genuine faith. And this just highlights the central theme here, imitation. Elsewhere in Revelation, Jesus is actually called the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He is the true lion. So the beast, with its mouth of a lion, is a direct counterfeit, a roaring imitation that's designed to deceive anyone who doesn't know the real voice. So we've got this powerful composite system of philosophical deception, legalistic oppression, and counterfeit religion. But where does it get its power? Who's actually pulling the strings behind the scenes? Well, the text gives us the answer, straight up. It says, "And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority." The beast's power isn't its own. It's delegated. It's like a franchise operation, and the dragon is the one who owns the company. And who is this Drakon, the dragon? Well, the book of Revelation leaves absolutely no room for doubt. In chapter 12, it identifies him as clear as day, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. So the crucial takeaway is that this entire beastly system is empowered by Satan. And this connects perfectly to a broader theme you see elsewhere in the Bible. This verse from Ephesians basically explains that the real battle isn't with earthly systems. It's not against flesh and blood, but with the spiritual forces that operate behind them. The beast isn't just an empire like Rome or Babylon. It's the spiritual wickedness that animated them. So to sum it all up, the beast of Revelation is a fusion. It's like a counterfeit trinity. You've got the lion's mouth offering a false image of God through corrupted worship. You've got the leopard's body offering false wisdom through human reason. And you've got the bear's feet offering false authority through oppressive, graceless law. Together, they form a complete antichrist spirit. And all of this leaves us with a final, pretty provocative thought. If this beast isn't just one historical empire, but a timeless spiritual system, this fusion of deception, force, and false religious authority, then the real question for us isn't just what it was, but what it is. Where might we see those exact same spirits at work in our world today?